Yali Madad, once again, we will continue our Jamaat Khana and rites and rituals. We were talking about the Dua Karaanvi, and I think we had covered most of it, but then I remember there was one question that came that sometimes we see people going to Mukhi Sahib and they would be standing there and they will give some money and say Mushkil Asan. Then they will give more money and say Ruhani ki dua. And they will give more money and say whatever, you know, is happening. And the Memani and the and you will see them doing this 4, 5, 6 times. So is that a right way of doing it? Or should we just put all this lump sum money and give to Mukhi Sahib and just ask for one dua? Alright, so two answers to that. One, you do what you like to do. In our tariqah, there is no set rule that you must do this. We are not fanatic. So whatever pleases you, if that is the part that pleases you, that you give separate and receive separate dua for each one of your niyat, whatever your niyat is. If you want separate dua for each one of those niyat, that is perfectly fine. Don't let anybody tell you not to do that. Then again, second possible thing is, for the sake of saving time of yourself and Mukhi Sahib and people behind you in the line. Remember, while you're standing in the line, that's not a break time for you to talk to your friends in front of you and behind you. That is the time to present your niyat and talk to Mullah Appa. That is your time right there in the line. So you start talking to Mullah Appa at that time. You start presenting your intention, your niyat to Mullah Appa at that time. And if you do that in such a manner that you feel that you have presented all your needs to Mullah Appa, and then when you get to Mukhi Sahib, you don't have to say anything. You just stand there, ask for the forgiveness of your sin, and take the dua, and that is good enough. Because remember, those niyas are between you and Maula Baba, the Imam of the time. And the time to do that is while you're standing in the line. And that is the good way of doing it, but again, don't let anybody tell you how to do that. Whatever makes you happy and peaceful, you follow your heart. And that is okay. Right? So I wanted to bring that up because there was a question that came up after we spoke in our previous class. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the Niyaz first. So today our main first topic is Niyaz. I want to throw some questions first at you. So while you're thinking, then we will be talking about Niyaz. Why Niyaz on Friday only? Why not on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Have we ever asked that question to ourselves? Why is Niyaz only on one day a week? Friday. Why do we dress up a little bit more on Friday than regular day? What is the logic or reason behind that? Somebody can say, well, there is a Niyaz on Chandra too. Okay, then my question would be, what is so special about Chandra and Friday that we have a Niyaz but not any other days? So someone can come back and say, but don't we have a Niyaz every morning? Then my question will be the same again. Why do we have a Niyaz every morning but not in the evening? So those are the questions, and we're going to take one at a time. We're going to try to answer those. So what is so special about Friday? Go ahead.
Why is Abhisheka?
Why is it called Abe Shafa? Oh, I see. Okay. So, we call it Niyaz or Abe Shafa. Two different words for the same water that we are drinking. So, Niyaz literally means what? Barakat, the blessings. Abe Shafa. Abe, water. Shafa, healing. The water of healing. And Niyaz literally means that brings you the barakat, the blessings. So we call it Niyaz or Abe Shafa. Okay. So in the meaning, and we will see where all this meaning is coming from. When we say Niyaz or when we say Abe Shafa. And once we understand why Niyaz, we will understand the meaning of these words. The true meaning of these words. Okay. What is so special about Friday? That we have a Niyaz. Some of you may know this and some may not. In Islam, Friday is a very important, blessed day. What happened on Friday? Does anybody know? Here? Anybody? Kya?
Well, they usually relate, like in Islamic sciences, they'll relate each day to a day of a prophet. Right, so Friday in the week of 7 is considered to be the day of the prophet.
Prophet Muhammad.
Right.
Right. Perfect. So Friday is for Prophet Muhammad, the last of the prophet, the last Natik. Out of the 6 Natik, they came in this cycle. The very first one was Adam. The second one was Hazrat Noah. Then Hazrat Ibrahim. Then Hazrat Musa. Then Hazrat Isa. Then on the 6th day, which is Friday, Prophet Muhammad. So now if you go back and if you put days in front of those Natikin, the Adam will be Sunday, Hazrat Noah will be Monday, Ibrahim will be Tuesday, Musa will be Wednesday, and Jesus would be Thursday, and Muhammad will be Friday. And I'm sure if you are from Pakistan and if you are from back home, you heard a term that we use is Jumatul Mubarak, the blessed day of Friday. Jumatul Mubarak. We all heard of that term. Now, we already established that there is something special about Friday. The question still remains, why Niyaz on Friday? So what does Niyaz represent? First of all, what do we have in Niyaz? Water. What does water represent? Anyone? Zara, Farah, Jamal?
Knowledge.
Huh?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. So water represents knowledge. So now we have two things. A blessed day of Friday, and we do something extraordinary on Friday, and that is Niyaz, which represents knowledge. So whose knowledge does it represent?
Friday would be Prophet Muhammad.
So Friday, Niyaz represents the knowledge that Prophet Muhammad brought down. What knowledge did he bring down? The knowledge of Quran, because he brought down, see the word, brought down. He brought down the knowledge of Quran. But while we are drinking, we need to understand that we are saying few things before we drink the Niyaz. First of all, what do we say? In the name of Nur Maulana Shah Karim Hussain Azri. Remember, as a smiley, we only do things in the name of present and living Imam. So nothing goes without that. Nothing. Nothing in Jamaasan happens, nothing in our religion happens without the Amr, without the order, without the name of the Imam of the time. So that's the first thing we do. We pick up the Niyaz belly, and we say Farman. That is the Farman of the Imam to take the knowledge of the Prophet Muhammad.
Subhanallah.
Without saying that or without understanding that, is nothing but a cup of water that you're drinking from the Niyaz Piyali. Now we have a deeper understanding, little bit more than a second ago, that with the Farman of the Imam Zaman, we are taking the knowledge of the Friday, the Prophet Muhammad. So what knowledge did he give? Now Barkat Bhai answer will come up. First, what he brought down? He brought down Quran. What knowledge did he give us? He gave us the knowledge of the Imam Ali, the Imam Asas, and the Imams of the time,
Subhanallah.
of the old times. He gave us the knowledge. Meaning he brought us the recognition of the Imams of the time. So now somebody can challenge and say, but he only brought down the Quran. He never even talked about recognition of Imam. Meaning there is the knowledge of Imam and recognition of Imam in the Quran.
Subhanallah.
So now, what do we need to do to take this knowledge with the Farman of Imam? Is to recognize the Imam through Quran. And that's what we are saying by drinking the Niyaz on Friday. That's why we drink the Niyaz on Friday. Otherwise, it's nothing but water that we are drinking. Second point in the Niyaz. Why can we not have all this Niyaz ready before the dua? Why do we have to go through this ritual of opening the Niyaz and putting down the pialis and saying the dua and then Farman and Yali Ya Muhammad, all that? Why do we go through this ritual? Because until we say the dua on this water is actually nothing but a regular water. But it is the dua that makes this water Abe Shafa.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
It is this dua. And then what happens? It says, with the Farman, and we say, Farman of whom? Yali Ya Muhammad. Farman of Ali and Muhammad, that we are preparing this Abe Shafa for the Jamaat. And we become the witness. He says Farman, and we say Yali Ya Muhammad. With the Farman of Ali and Muhammad, we are doing this. And that dua makes this water the Abe Shafa. And if somebody drinks that, and I'm going to tell you a miracle in a second, there is so many miracles that we see it, we don't pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show and tell you a miracle that happens every Friday. And you will be amazed. So, if this is Abe Shafa, due to the dua, and with the Farman of the Imam al-Zaman, then what is he supposed to do? Supposed to cure us, right? Does it cure us? That's the question again. And now I'm going to show you that miracle now. How many times in our Jamaatana, like flu. If in our home, if somebody is coughing and have a flu, what do? Keep your own glass separately. We don't use the same glass. Even in our home, in our family, if somebody is coughing or have a cold or flu, we keep our glasses and things separately. We make sure that that person is cleaning his hand and doing everything, and we try not to touch that person and all that. Have you ever seen that happen in Niyaz time? We all drink from same piali. You don't think out of those thousands of people coming to Jamaatana, somebody would have a flu? Or somebody would have a cold? Or somebody would have a cough? Or somebody is sick? Or a fever? What do you think? Why there is no epidemic of flu going on in Jamaatana? Why? What happens? Think about it. We all drinking from the same piali. Hundreds of people drinking from the same piali. It is due to the Abe Shafa. It's curing us while we are drinking it, not even knowing it. It's just purifying us. It's taking the disease away from us. Otherwise, physical level, naturally, if you drink with the same cup of water, that somebody had a flu or the cough or the fever, you should get sick. Just by touching a handle, door handle, if somebody has a flu, we catch those viruses and we get flu. Just by touching a handle, door handle, not even sharing the cup of glass. How come that doesn't happen? Have we ever thought about that? It is due to that Abe Shafa, that prayers that we offer to prepare that Niyaz.
Isn't there a Furman? Sultan Mashad Furman says that you'll never get sick from. It's a Furman, right? That
I don't remember the Farman,
I think,
but
well, someone told me
it's
that.
just an observation, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you go to bigger Jamaatana, in example in Karachi, 10,000 people in Jamaatana on Friday, 20,000 people on Chandra, and they're all drinking from the same pialis. And you will hear people coughing right and left. But when we get to that, there's no epidemic. You don't see, everybody getting sick, entire Jamaat getting sick. You don't see that. So, this is a miracle of Abe Shafa that we see every Friday, every Chandra, every day. We talked about Friday, the importance of Friday. On the Friday, we are receiving by drinking the Niyaz and saying, we accept with the Farman of the Imam Zaman, the knowledge of our last prophet, Prophet Muhammad, on this blessed day of Friday. That is the reason that we only drink Niyaz on Friday, not on any other days. Because that is the latest knowledge that came to us from the Prophet. So, come back to the Niyaz. All right. Other question that we should ask, why there is a kum, the big bowl, why there is the cup that we take the water, why there are different pialis? We should ask, can we not just have like some kind of a convenient way of drinking it, like having just a water fountain, and we just put a cup and we drink it? Why this particular thing? The kum, the big jar, the cup that we take the Niyaz from, and then those small pialis that we put the Niyaz in, and we drink from there. Why can we not drink directly from there? All right. Each one of those represents something. First of all, if you take those three things that I just said, go one step behind that, the one we don't see. And that is there is a gallon of water. In Pakistan there will be gara. The one we don't see, and the reason I want to emphasize on that, it sits behind the pot, the one we don't see. And they are taking the water from their gallon of jug of water and they are pouring in there. And then they put it back. That one right there, it represents Akle Kulli, universal intellect. The one we don't see. Think of your body. We normally talk about our physical body and we normally talk about our soul. one thing we normally don't see is what? Our intellect. And that's the one we ignore most, probably, because we don't think about it. Universal intellect, that is the main source of the knowledge. Remember, the Niyaz represent knowledge. Intellect soul is the main source of the knowledge. It comes from there. The one we don't even see. And that intellect soul gives knowledge to whom?
The ball.
The kum, the big ball. The big ball represents nafse kulli, universal soul. Universal intellect, universal soul. The key word here is universal. Okay, universal soul. Then from the universal soul, the cup that takes the niyaz from the universal soul and puts it in a pyali, right? That cup represents the peer. That is represent hujjat. And then hujjat gives that knowledge to those pyalis, small pyalis. Those small pyali represents dais. We all know what dais is these days now. So then Jamaat take the knowledge from whom?
Die.
From dais. And yet this is in plural, dais. There are multiple pyalis there. Alright, so now we're going to work backward. So we have a dais, we take the knowledge from. So Jamaat is supposed to take the knowledge from dais. Dai gets his knowledge from the peer, the hujjat. And how many hujjats are there? Remember, just one pyali. Those are so many pyalis and one cup. The peer takes his knowledge from whom? The kum, right? Imam. From the Imam, from the kum. Where does the Imam get his knowledge from? The universal intellect, from his own nur. So here the nur is represented as universal intellect. Imam is represented as universal soul. The cup is represented as the hujjat or the peer. And the pyalis are represented as dais. I'll give you time to write all this down. Alright, and I will give you a minute or two after we are finished with this to ask question, because there may be some question here related to the niyaz. Okay. So you see, the law of nature is not to take the knowledge directly from the nur, universal intellect. So those people who say, Allah hamare liye kafi hai, we're going to go directly to Allah and take knowledge from Him. The nature says you cannot do that. So I'm going to give you another shocker here. If you say that I'm going to take the knowledge directly from Allah, I don't need Imam, I don't need Peer, I do not need prophets, what they are saying, that I am prophet myself and I can talk to Allah myself. So what they are claiming? They are claiming to be the prophets. They are claiming to be Natiqin, the Pegambers, the Rasuls. Are you saying that you are Rasul, that you can talk to Allah yourself? If you're not saying that, then you need to come down to at least one level, say I can take the knowledge from the prophets. Then again, prophet gives knowledge to the Asas, the Ali. So are you saying you are Ali and you're going to take the direct knowledge from the prophet? And if you're not saying that, then you need to come down one more level and take the knowledge from the peer. So are you saying you are on the level of Dai already, that you can take the knowledge from the peer? If you're not saying that, then you need to come down one more level and take the knowledge from the Dais. And that is the law of nature. For example, in the physical world, the president of the country, he passes a law. If something happens, does president comes and gives you a ticket? Or when you something happens, you go to the president directly? You don't. Then there are lawmakers, there are governors, there are mayor, there are city council, and then there is a police department, and all these different departments. So where do you go? To one of those smaller departments. That is law of nature. Right? You always go to the next level up. You do not jump from here to there. Another example. So you wanted to learn ABC and you're just going into your kindergarten or your first grade. You say, you know what? This young teacher over there, I want to just see the principal. I'm going to just learn from the principal himself. I don't need teacher. Principal will never teach you anything. That's why he have all these teachers to teach. So you always go to your next level up. All right. So we understand the levels of giving and teaching and learning. So Mominins, the Jamaat takes the knowledge, the Niyaz from the Pyali, and the Pyali gets his knowledge from the cup, the Pir or Hujjat. The Pir gets his knowledge from the Imam, and Imam gets his knowledge from his Nur, the universal intellect. Now comes, there's one thing that additionally we see while we are preparing the Niyaz, is a small Niyaz Pyali, Niyaz bowl, that we pour that Niyaz into it. That is the Niyaz that is blessed by the Imam of the time. So when he takes the Niyaz, there is the place where he says the Farman, the very first Farman. He takes the Niyaz and he puts it into the bowl. That's where the process starts. Farman, with the Farman of the Imam of the time. And that is the Niyaz that is blessed by the Imam. Because remember, without the blessing of the Imam of the time, is nothing but the water there. Again. So now let's come back to the same but the next level of the Niyaz. Okay. So when we are going for the Niyaz, same law applies when we're going for the dua. In the line, there is not time to socialize. The line is not there for you to talk to your friends. There's not time for the socializing. The time to socialize is outside the Jamaat. So at the time of the Niyaz, you should have that conversation, that understanding in your mind and your heart, that what are you about to do? And what is that? Again, you need to understand, I'm going there. I'm going to take the Niyaz. And that's where the blessing comes in. The Niyaz part, not Abhishafa part, the Niyaz part. I'm going to go get there and I'm going to get the blessings of the Imam and the Natik of our cycle, the sixth cycle. I'm going to get the blessing of the Imam and the Natik of the time, and with the drinking of that Abbe Shafa, I will be cured and I will be blessed. And then you get there, and only thing at that time you have to do is what? In the name of Nur Maulana Shah Karim Hussain Hazri Imam, Farman, and you are there. You don't not have to stand there for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and just saying your dua at that time because you are talking in the line. You should do all that beforehand. Because remember, there are other people behind you. Right? So for the sake of saving the time and to be considerate to the other people behind you, you should do your dua before you get to the Niyaz Pyali. And have that understanding in your mind. You should know what you're doing before you do it. Otherwise, what do I normally say? You just wasted a minute of your time and your dollar. And only thing you got was what you could have gotten from the water fountain. So you must have that understanding. You must understand what you are about to do. You must have the niyat, the intention of taking the knowledge, the blessing from that Abe Shafa, right? From that Niyaz. You must have that.
So I'll add one point before you end, that as he said, it's a healing water. So what are we healing? He already mentioned that we neglect what? We neglect our intellect. So when we are drinking this healing water, what we are saying actually, bring healing to my intellect. Why? Because we are neglecting it. So the reason it is called Abe Shafa, it is healing for our intellect. Prophet Muhammad, being Natik, he brought Quran, and when his time, when he was getting these revelations to him, what tasbih he said? He said, Rabbi zidni ilma. Allah, increase my knowledge. And that's what we are exactly doing when we are drinking that niyaz with this knowledge, that we accept Prophet Muhammad as our last natik, who brought knowledge in the form of Quran. And this niyaz, this Abe Shifa, is a symbolic water who is blessed by Imam, which is blessed by Imam. And when we drink it with this intention that this water will bring healing to my intellect. He talked about a miracle of people drinking it from same pyali and not getting sick, or for no contagious things happening there. That's a miracle. In every aspect of our religion, there is a knowledge component and there is a miracle component. Remember, we talked about it as REC teachers. We have to talk about miracles of Mawla. Why? Because we want our children to have ishq of Mawla in their heart. So there is knowledge component and there is ishq component.
Very good. So we will stop here and open up if there is a question regarding Niyaz. And then we can move forward to the other subject. So any question here? Why all those? Right.
Let me summarize so we understand it, right? So there is command of Allah, Amre Kun, when God says to be and it became. Amr, the kalima, universal intellect, universal soul, and then the Imam or the Asas. When we are adding that bottle of water during the dua into the bowl, we are adding the command of Imam, the blessings of Imam to that water. And then when the dua is finished, the cup is a peer, represents peer, and the pyalis are the dais. And then mominin drink from dai. Does it make the sequence for you?